fields in all stages of growth, from planting to harvest. To our right are the grounds of the Plantation Garden Tour, where guests can take a leisurely stroll through 8 different mini gardens and get an up-close view of a variety of plants, flowers, and native species while listening to stories about life on the plantation and Hawaiian heritage. Just a few announcements as we head out into the plantation. For your safety and those around you, please stay seated. Keep your head, arms, legs, and any devices, including selfie sticks, inside the train at all times. Please refrain from eating or drinking, and if you should accidentally drop something outside the train, there are numbered markers along the train path. Just tell us the marker number where you dropped your item, and we'll be able to retrieve it for you upon our return. And now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Let's begin our journey with a little history on this special place of Oahu called Wahiawa. Before the Hawaiian Islands were united by King Kamehameha I, Wahiawa was where Oahu chiefs and their armies lived, trained, and fought for control of the island. Wahiawa was also the birthplace of royal family members. Roughly translated, the name Wahiawa means place of rumbling. It was believed the rumbling sound of thunderstorms common in this area were the voices of the ancestral gods welcoming an offspring of divine rank. Today, Wahiawa is home to people of all backgrounds. If you can spare some time, visit one of the many shops and restaurants in Wahiawa town. Each crown is planted by hand. The planters use a sharp planting knife to cut a hole for the plastic mulch. They then place the bottom of the crown directly into the hole. A skilled planter can plant roughly 10,000 pineapples a day, or nearly half an acre. To irrigate the fields, a tube is placed between the rows of pineapple. When water is needed, it is dripped from the tubes directly onto the root. Harvesting, like planting, is also done by hand. The first crop, called the plant crop, takes 18 months from planting to harvest. The second crop, called the ratoon crop, takes another 12 months, resulting in a 2.5-year cycle. After the last crop is harvested, the field is knocked down and the pineapple plants plowed under. The land then lays fallow for almost a year before the new cycle begins. To harvest the pineapple, a crew of workers will walk through the rows of pineapple, twisting off the fruit and placing it on a boom conveyor, which gently moves the fruit to a bin on an awaiting truck. Even in the hot summer months, the workers must wear heavy clothing, gloves, and mesh goggles to protect themselves from the sharp, rigid leaves of the pineapple plant. That a Spanish shipwreck in 1527 off the South Dakota coast of the Big Island brought tools, garments, and plants, including pineapples from Mexico to Hawaii. Captain John Kidwell is credited with founding Hawaii's pineapple industry. In the 1880s, he imported and tested a number of different pineapple varieties and selected the smooth cayenne variety for its cylindrical form and uniform texture. Most of the pineapple in Hawaii is grown at elevations below 3,000 feet. Good fruit quality is attributed to areas having a combination of relatively cool night temperatures, a high percentage of sunny days, and day temperatures ranging from 70 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes Wahiawa perfect for growing pineapple. Now, some of you may be wondering why the soil is reddish in color. Well, it's because the decomposed volcanic ash in the soil results in high amounts of oxidized iron, which in turn causes the reddish tint. The high iron content in the soil is good for growing pineapple. So how do you know when a pineapple is ready to be picked? Generally, you want to select a pineapple that is plump and fresh looking. In other words, the leaves in the crown should be fresh and green, and the body of the pineapple firm. Keep in mind, a large pineapple doesn't necessarily mean the fruit will be better tasting or any riper than a smaller pineapple. Also, the color of the shell is not necessarily a sign of maturity or ripeness. A pineapple can be ripe when the shell is practically all green. Once the pineapple is picked, it will not ripen any further or get any sweeter. So the sooner they're eaten, the better. If you don't plan to use a fresh pineapple right away, store it in your refrigerator, it'll keep longer. And if your interest, fruit of the cacao tree is a football-shaped pod that comes in various colors. The pod ranges in size from 8 to 14 inches long and grows directly from the tree's main branches and trunk. Chocolate is made from the beans that are inside the pods. If the pods aren't visible, look for the trees with long green leaves. Those are the cacao trees. A variety of other trees border the cacao field, which help to shield the cacao trees from excessive wind and sun. Cacao trees flourish in humid tropical regions in a narrow band 10 degrees above and below the equator. The Hawaiian Islands, at 21 degrees north, are one of the few exceptions with unique microclimates that promote the exceptionally deep, complex flavors in the chocolate. Hawaii's chocolate industry is relatively new, but is quickly establishing itself as a source for some of the best and rarest chocolates in the world. A few miles north of Dole Plantation is the Wahiawa Estate Cacao Farm, run by Dole Fruit Company. The rich volcanic soil and excellent growing conditions in this area, combined with high-quality chocolate-making practices, have allowed Wahiawa Estate to become the undisputed leader and producer of the best chocolate in Hawaii. If you haven't done so already, we encourage you to visit the Wahiawa Estate chocolate display area inside the Dole Plantation store. In addition to showcasing a delicious assortment of world-class chocolates, we also conduct a free demonstration on how chocolate is produced from bean to bar. If you haven't noticed, there's a large reservoir out here. It's called the Tanata Reservoir and was constructed in the early 1900s. The reservoir holds roughly 155 million gallons of water and is used to irrigate the pineapple fields and other agricultural crops in this area. Okay, let's take a short break and enjoy some music performed by local recording artist Manoa DNA. Their CD titled Pineapple Express is only available here at Dole Plantation, and you can pick up a copy for just $5 by showing your train stub. Here's Manoa DNA.
I know of a place not so far away.
Hawaii's agricultural land has shifted from being dominated by sugar and pineapple to a multitude of crops including bananas, macadamia nuts, papayas, and flowers. Hawaii also produces some of the best coffee, which has been growing in the island since the 1800s. Coffee plants generally take 7 years to reach full production. Hawaiian coffees are world-famous Arabica varietals such as Typica, Patuai, Katura, and Mocha. The Typica variety was first introduced to Kona farmers from Guatemala and is now grown on Oahu's North Shore as Wahiawa Estate Coffee, which is owned and operated by Dole Food Company. In the spring, following heavy rains, coffee plants produce small, fragrant white flowers which last only a few days. The fruits grow for 6 months and slowly change from green to yellow to a glossy deep red, at which point the cherries, as they are called, are ready for picking. Harvested cherries must first be wet milled to remove the skin and dried as green bean coffee. Next,
take a ride, you're supplied from the mountainside. See the island's beauty.
the world's largest maze. Stroll through the plantation garden, or cool down with the world-famous Dole Whip inside the Dole Plantation store. If you plan on making your way to the North Shore, turn right as you exit the parking lot and head north on Kamehameha Highway for about 10 minutes. Besides having some of the world's best beaches, you'll also find dozens